and we'll get started. You can lie on your back and hug the knees into the chest. Take a second and take a couple deep breaths. And you can have the heels together, toes apart, so the feet are in like a little V shape. And then the knees will be the same width as not like the outside of your shoulder, but like the armpit. Yeah, so it'll be wide, but not quite as wide as you would think. And you're just gonna stay here and take some deep breaths. And every time you exhale, just gently pull the knees in a little bit closer. Good, so you'll inhale, you'll kind of let that relax. And then when you exhale, you'll pull the knees in a little closer. Good. So just that a few more times. Nice deep breathing. That's great. And then keep that going and you can start to think about what we worked on last week. So now when you pull the knees into the chest, you're going to anchor your tailbone, down in the opposite direction. You may find that you can't move as freely. That's what I would expect, and that's normal. But it should feel good, like some traction in your low back. And you'll find that actually doing this a few times, trying to keep the arms helping pull the legs in and keep the tailbone down, that your core will start to get warm and your arms are going to start to get warm and your legs are going to start to get warm. So even though we're not moving much yet, the body is warming up here. And we're actively stretching using the strength of our muscles. That's looking great. And you can come to the place where the knees are fully into the chest, the tailbone is still pressing down. And from there, you're just gonna bring your chin to your chest. So it'll be like almost like you were trying to make a double chin. So keep the head on the mat for now and just make a little double chin by tilting the chin down. Good. And then from there, you lift up, looking into the stomach. Hold it for a second. Keep the double chin, lay the head back down, and then release the double chin. Good. Breathe. Take a second. Again, more work than you might imagine. And then again, you're going to pull the knees in, tailbone is down, just double chin tuck. Lift the head from there so the back of the neck gets really long. Hold here. 3, 2, 1. Keep the little chin tuck as you lay the head back down. And then untuck the chin. One more time. Tuck the chin. Look into the belly. Lift the head. Hands are pulling the legs. Tailbone's pressing down. Everything's really active. Hold here and start your 100. So you're going to pump the arms. Legs can be at whatever level you want. They can stay in. They can go up. You're just going to focus on keeping stability in the neck, long back of the neck, and strong, deep breaths with your pumping. Yeah, excellent. And if you have any more brain space left to absorb new information with this, you can inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And just this little breathing change, because we have that restricted airway, right, of the nostrils, it makes us engage our powerhouse to push the air out. So this is a great way to make the exercise more challenging, even if you're holding a gentle position in the body. Excellent. And we're just going for 10 deep breaths here. So everyone's going to be at their own pace. And if you're not sure where you are in your breath count, don't worry. Just do 3 more deep breaths. Pumping the arms strong. Fantastic. When you've exhaled for that last time, just hug the knees. And this time I want you to reach the hands behind the thighs. You're going to grab the opposite wrist. And you're just going to hold this. Knees will still be the same width as the shoulders. They might even feel like they're sliding a little into your elbows. Try to press the heels gently down toward the seat. Great. And take some deep breaths here. So this is one of my favorite ways to, in the studio, if we're together, sometimes I'll help you squish your legs into this position. And that's one option, but unfortunately we're not together right now. Or the other option is what we did earlier, right? You have the hands behind the thighs or on the knees and you pull, but that creates some tension. As you felt, it actually warms up the body. So here, by just gripping the wrist, we actually can enjoy quite a deep stretch, but we're super passive. Aside from the hand holding the wrist, everything else can Whew, relax. So I love this rest position. Go ahead now and let the legs go. And then you can come to sitting and we'll do some rollbacks. So you'll have your feet planted, hands behind the thighs. Good. And I'm going to suggest that the feet be at least a 45-degree kind of angle. That doesn't make sense. The knees are at a 45-degree angle. So the feet will be a little farther away from you than you might think. You'll kind of feel once we start the exercise if you've got that right. So now you can always adjust. And let's have for today just the fingertips behind the thighs. So you're going to be holding, but not super strongly. Just scoop the belly in, kind of make that double chin again. So you're gently rounding and scoop back like your belly button is magnetized towards the mat. You're going to lean back until your arms are straight. Hold there. And then bend the elbows, pull back up. Good. So if you felt your feet flying or they were hard to anchor, you can try adjusting the position maybe a little farther away and try again. Same exact thing. So we're just rounding back to straight arms and then really do grab and pull, bend the elbows wide to get yourself back up. It's not cheating. That is actually going to help engage your whole powerhouse. As you come up, keep the chin to the chest. Don't look up. You round forward. Yes, and then you round right back. So there's not really an arrival or a lift. You're just rocking back. And then wide elbows, dropping the shoulders, pull, and rock forward. And you'll find when you do that, your powerhouse will engage more. So don't be afraid to pull like crazy with the arms, bend the elbows, widen the shoulders. Yes. We're just going to do that 3 more times. Deep breathing. And of course, like all these classes, you can always be a little slower or faster than me. No worries. That's looking excellent. Let's have everyone just do 1 more time. Yes, beautiful. And on your next one, you're just going to roll all the way down to the mat. So you'll just do the same motion, but you'll keep it going. Down, 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 all the way. Beautiful. Legs out long, arms overhead. Just take a huge stretch here. Just reach in 2 directions. Good. And then grab the right wrist with the left hand and just kind of pull on that right wrist. You might slide into a little side bend, just gentle. And then you're going to switch and just slide along the floor the other way. Just getting longer in one set of ribs and then the other. And then reach both arms straight up. Stretch. And arms down by your side. Perfect. Hug the right knee into the chest. And give it a squeeze in parallel. So we're just lining up that shin. Yep, perfect. You can focus on 2 things here. One is that pulling in of that leg with nice wide elbows and soft shoulders. Looks really good. And then the other leg is going to be pressing down. If I was there, my hands would be on your thigh bone, pushing it straight down to the mat and then a little bit forward, like I was sliding my hand along your thigh bone towards your knee. So from the top of the thigh to the knee, you just lengthen. And that should be a little stretch, maybe even in the front of that hip. And then all we're going to do is you're going to keep your left hand on the leg. Right hand will just drop down. And you're going to gently bring that leg across the body. Just give it a little pull. You might feel a little stretch in the outer hip or IT band. And it is okay if that hip lifts up, but you want to keep it yearning towards the floor. So like it was really heavy. So gravity wants it to be on the floor, but you'll be pulling it up and it'll probably end up about halfway. And you want to breathe into that stretch, just feeling it along the outer thigh. Good. Come back to the center, find that first position. So both hands parallel, extend that opposite leg. See if that feels different now, maybe easier to relax. And this time, right hand stays on the knee, and you're going to let the leg open into a little external rotation. So the other hand can come down. And this time, I really do want you to keep your hip anchored. So you can even slide your left thumb under your glutes and squish it. So that left glute is like really going to be pressing into the floor. And that's going to be challenging to hold this because your leg that's out to the side is heavy. It's going to want to pull you all the way that way. So you have to engage quite a bit of powerhouse to press left hip down, 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 down so that they can match. So just hold this for 3, 2, 1, and then bring the knee back to the center. Just give it a squeeze. Notice how different this feels than when you started. And then arms by your side. That leg is going to go straight up to the ceiling. Slightly rotate it out. And if you're tight here, you can always bend the other leg as well. And you're going to circle this leg across the body, around and up 5 times. So we're now just tracing that whole range of motion that we went through. We go internally rotated, parallel, externally rotated, parallel. And the leg rotation stays the same, but we're moving through all those positions. Yeah, very good. You'll do that one more time. And then reverse for 5 circles the other direction. Nice deep breaths. Really pull the powerhouse down. Keep thinking left hip heavy. Yes, very good. Last one. Hug that knee into your chest one more time. Show me that first stretch we took. Feel the difference. And then I want you to just hug both knees into the chest and feel the difference between the 2 legs after just doing that short little stretch series. And then we'll do it all on the other side. So you just let that other leg go and stay here and breathe. We are going to stay here for a little bit so that you can acclimate. And it's okay if the 2 sides feel different. 1, we just worked and stretched that first side. But 2, most of us are, I would go to say none of us are perfectly symmetrical between our 2 sides. So just noticing the different sensations you might get here. Maybe it's easier to feel a stretch in a certain place, or it's harder to press that thigh down. Just paying attention. Take a deep breath. Great job. And then you can go ahead and just keeping that right hand on the leg, bring it gently across the body, but the hip is going to try to stay heavy on the mat. So you'll feel it lift a little bit, but it's going to always want to keep coming back. And you're looking for a stretch in that outer thigh, maybe even into the glute a little bit. Yeah. You can always play with where your knee is here. So when we start, the knee is really close to the chest, but you might like it dropped a little bit away, pull it even a little closer. You can experiment and see what you prefer. They'll all feel a little different, and it's just personal preference. Great job. Come back to the middle, give that hug. Notice if something has shifted or changed. Excellent. And then taking it to the outside, yes, left hand pulls the left knee, and then just try and squish the right thumb under the right hip. Really squash it. Picture some gross bug. Squish it. And take some deep breaths. You'll feel this is just really active. You have to really press through that opposite side to balance the weight of that bent leg. Keep breathing deeply. Push, push, push into that opposite hip. And then bring the knee back to the center. Give it a nice squeeze. And notice how that feels. Really good. Leg's going to go straight up to the ceiling now. An option to bend the opposite leg if that helps you feel more comfortable. You're just going to make your circles across, around, and up 5 times. Really trying to anchor. If you do have that leg bent, press, press, press through the foot. If you have the leg straight, I want you to press through the back of the thigh and the back of the heel. Excellent. Reversing after 5. And again, your own count, your own rhythm. Last one for everybody, if you're not done already. And then hug the knee in and hug the other knee in. Good. So you feel both knees now hugged into the chest. And then you're going to make your way to sitting, and we'll balance in a ball shape. So if you liked it earlier when we grabbed the wrist, you can do that here. Other options are just fingertips behind the thighs or hands on the shins and ankles. Either way, we have heels together, toes apart, knees again about that shoulder width, armpit width. And you want to see if you can press the knees apart. So whether it's your hands or your elbows, you want to really see if you can create some actual physical resistance for the legs to push out into, and then to counter that, the heels are squeezing. So again, we're in this dynamic shape. Bring the chin just a little to the chest so the back of the neck gets long. Yeah, it's that little double chin feeling again. Just breathe here and balance. You'll probably find naturally it's happening already. You're probably shifting a little, rocking back and forth. That's okay. That just means you're in an active balance, which is excellent. And we can even start to do that intentionally now. So you're just going to shift back so slightly by pulling the stomach in. And then it's that feeling of if you've ever leaned back too far in a rocking chair, you want to pull yourself back up from the stomach muscles. So it's just going to be this teeny tiny rock and roll. I should barely be able to see it, but you're going to feel a lot of action happening in the core, in the belly. And just check in, making sure that those legs are still super active. Heels push, knees press out, chin is dipped. And then a little bonus challenge here for you. You're going to balance at the top, same exact shape. And wherever you are, I just want you to see if you can stack one elbow and then the other on top of your knee. So we're taking away the grip of the arms now, and you have to hold this just with your stomach. Just breathe here and feel how it is to have your powerhouse do all that work for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant the feet. And just like we did before, you can lie down one vertebrae at a time, hands behind the thighs. And stretch. Arms go up. And this time we're going to take this stretch into a giant X. So wide legs, wide arms, like make a star shape. Very good. And this is going to be really subtle. It's going to be something I probably can't see, but you're going to feel a nice stretch when we do this. Right arm, left leg reach away from one another. Like you had someone pulling you on the right arm and on the left heel, tug, 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 and then relax everything. And then opposites. We're going to go left arm, right heel. Opposites, opposites, opposites. You might even feel that you kind of shorten one side. Just go back and forth now between those 2 points, pulling the opposites. Should feel really good. And just do one more on each side. Yes, fantastic. And then hug the knees into the chest. Give a little squeeze, just hands on shins or behind the thighs. Great job. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to do the traditional stomach series. We're going to sub in a series from the reformer called the Footwork. And this is really simple choreography, but it can feel quite intense. So just prepare and be conservative at first. When we try this, you can always make it harder. And I'll tell you how to do that after we get started. So to begin, you have a couple of choices. Hands can either be stacked behind the head with the head lifted or down, or the arms can just be down by the side. And you're always welcome to do both of those, see what you prefer, and make a choice based on how that's feeling. So once you've gotten your arms set up, and you can change your mind at any time with that, you'll have your knees into your chest, heels together, toes apart. And we're gonna start by pressing through the balls of the feet. So imagine a little bar or even my hands against the balls of your feet. You're gonna push me away to straight legs, and then you're gonna pull me back towards you. And you really wanna push not through the heel, not through the arch, but through the ball of the foot. So it might even be like, yeah, your ankle is pointing slightly. You can try this with head up or down. Personally, I prefer head up because I find that it takes some strain actually out of the neck, and you can get a little bit deeper into the stomach. We're going to do this 10 times. So you're about halfway there. If you're finding this intense, aim the legs a bit higher. It's okay if they don't straighten all the way. If you're finding it manageable, you're welcome to challenge yourself by going a little bit lower. It's looking excellent. Let's all do 3 more. Stomach in and in. Feel the low back pressing into the mat, especially as the legs extend. Last one. And then just hug the knees and rest. Take a couple breaths. Very, very good. The next exercise in the series is exactly the same, but we're going to change the foot position a little bit. So instead of heels together, toes apart, the legs will be parallel. And You can choose if you want to squeeze the legs together, go for it. Personally, I find that very, very difficult. So I like to set my feet just an inch apart from one another. So maybe your inner thighs will touch, but your ankles and feet might not touch, if that makes sense. And you're going to curl your feet, and you can look at me, into this weird little shape. I like to think if you're trying to grab a pencil with your toes. Here's your little toes, grab that pencil. Yeah, good. So your feet are flexed, the ankle is flexed, but you're just going to wrap the toes around. Grab a pencil just with the toes. Yep, that's it. It's gonna feel so weird, like the little bird on a perch. And then you're going to press through the middle of the foot. So if the bar or my hand is there, you're gonna push that away. Give it a try. You push through the middle of the foot, keeping this weird shape, and then you come back in. And again, head can be up or down, hands either down by the side or behind the head. That's looking great. You do this 10 times and you'll notice it feels quite different. Even though the motion is the same, this position adjustment is going to activate muscles very differently. We're working the feet here with this nice curved position, waking up all those muscles. It's looking excellent. We'll do 4 more. In, 3, in, 2, in. Last one. Hug in and rest. Take a moment, take a breath. And then final one here, you're going to flex the feet. This time toes can unfurl, and you'll just flex the foot normally. And you'll press through the heel. So again, imaginary bar is on the heel. You push the bar away from there. You can go ahead and start whenever you're ready, just pushing through the heels 10 times, finding a leg level that works for you. And this is still parallel. Looks excellent. Yes. Stomach stays so strong. Don't let it pop up as those legs go out. If it feels like it has to pop, you're probably going just a touch too low. You can always adjust as you get tired. Let's go for 4, in, 3, in, 2, in. Last one, come in and rest. Beautiful, that's not easy. You can sit up now, feet the width of your mat. And you'll just practice sitting tall here with straight legs if possible, but if that's not going to work for you, you can always bend the knees a little bit. And you can just flex the feet and point the feet. Just flex and point while you sit tall. Notice as you flex, maybe it makes you want to slump just a little more in the low back, so really lift against that instinct. And on this last one, keep the feet flexed. So hold that flexion. Reach your arms forward. Toes are pointing to the ceiling. And then exhale, drop your head and round forward. So this is your spine stretch forward. In past weeks, we've talked about curling into a little conch shell. Yes, excellent. And then scoop and lift tall. It's like someone has a little puppet string on your head, pulls the string. Drop the head, a little double chin, round forward. Very good. That's it. Just 3 more times. Exhaling down. Heavy head. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. This time get to your down position and just lean a little more forward. And you might find that lets you drop your head a bit more. Yeah, good. And then rolling back up. One more time. So once you curl into that conch shell and you've established that shape, it's okay to lean forward a little bit from there if that helps you get a more satisfying stretch. Come to the top. Arms lift straight up and hold. And just breathe here. If you want something to do, you can make little firecrackers with your hands. And look at me if you don't know what those are. Perfect. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax and come to standing.